We all know Peter is a walking disaster, but beneath Lois's pearl-wearing, stay-at-home mom exterior is a woman who has done some truly unhinged and sus things over the years. I'm telling you, as a longtime fan of the show, the deeper you look into her character, the more you realize she might actually be the most chaotic person in the show.
Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
Why are you in pigtails in a little girl's nightgown?
Okay, maybe we both forget what we saw.
Today we are breaking down the most sus Lois Griffin moments. Let's start the show, kicking things off with Season 5, Episode 6, Prick Up Your Ears. If you thought Lois was just a sweet, innocent housewife, buckle up, because this episode is where her actions start to get genuinely disturbing. I am talking about a storyline where Lois goes from trying to be a responsible mom to straight up forcing herself onto her own husband. Our story starts with every parent's absolute worst nightmare. Lois walks into the living room and catches Chris, his friends, and even baby Stewie watching some highly inappropriate adult videos.
What is this?
Hospital.
Yes, and it's inappropriate for someone your age.
When confronted, Chris defends his actions by pointing out that the school cut their health class funding, so the internet is his only teacher right now.
That's crazy. Without dead kids can wind up sexually confused. Just look at Michael Jackson.
Trying to do the right thing, Lois volunteers to teach the high school sex ed class herself. She actually tries to be super honest with the teens about protection, but things go off the rails when Peter barges in to offer up his own ridiculous expertise on the subject.
Get it! I've missed too many other opportunities.
This causes a massive uproar with the local parents, getting Lois's class canceled and replaced by a reverend who pushes some insane abstinence propaganda.
I know my husband acted inappropriately.
Oh, it's not because of your husband. It's because you're teaching those kids about
What?
He literally tells these gullible high schoolers that protection fails 100% of the time, and surprisingly, the kids actually buy into it. Even Meg jumps on the bandwagon, bringing a book of this anti-intimacy propaganda home and showing it to Peter. Now, Peter isn't exactly the brightest guy.
If you have your will fall off and land in another dimension populated entirely by dogs who will eat it.
So when he reads a fake warning claiming that doing the deed will cause his lower half to literally fall off into a dimension populated entirely by dogs, he is absolutely terrified. Fearing for his anatomy, Peter makes a strict vow of abstinence. Later that night, Lois decides it's time for some bedroom roleplay. She steps into the room dressed as, I kid you not, Grimace from McDonald's, asking if he has any burgers she can steal. But instead of an eager husband, she finds Peter strapped into a literal metal chastity belt.
Chastity belt? What in God's name is that for?
Frustrated that her night is ruined, she drops the Grimace disguise and storms over to Meg's room to complain about the propaganda. Instead, she walks in on Meg and her new boyfriend, finding a very weird loophole to stay abstinent.
Kids were doing it in the ear!
Yep, they are doing it in the ear. Traumatized by what she just witnessed, Lois heads back to her bedroom to try and turn Peter. And this is where Lois loses absolutely any redeeming qualities she might have had. She tries to tempt Peter, but when he firmly refuses because of his new beliefs, Lois flat out tells him that she isn't asking for his permission. She then completely forces herself onto Peter, essentially assaulting him and making him go against his own boundaries.
Lois, I think I just got an idea.
Eventually, the two of them break into the school to interrupt the Reverend's speech and teach the kids the actual truth about safety.
And if you do make the choice to act on them, make sure you protect yourselves. Use a condom.
But the fact that the show just casually played Lois assaulting her husband for laughs is incredibly wild.
I'm proud of you, sweetheart.
Me too, Lois. You stood up for what you believe in. I just wish I could have been there to hear the speech you made.
Moving right along to Season 19, Episode 9, The First Noel. If you thought ruining a random Tuesday was bad, imagine trying to completely destroy the most wonderful time of the year for your own flesh and blood. In this episode, Lois goes from being a stressed-out housewife to a literal holiday supervillain, faking a tropical vacation just so she can spy on her loved ones and plot their misery. The whole mess starts with Lois doing all the heavy lifting to get the house ready for the holidays.
That looks heavy.
looking like the only one actually putting in any effort. Fed up, she hands everyone a list of chores and demands they get each other actual, meaningful gifts this year.
All of these completed by tomorrow.
Sorry, I can't do chores. My trick elbow is acting up.
But of course, the family spends all day shopping and returns completely empty-handed.
Wait, where's all the Christmas stuff?
Ah, yeah, about that.
I can't believe this.
Without even bothering to buy a Christmas tree. Peter claims he has it all under control and manages to get a beautiful tree later that night.
Beautiful.
I sure did, Lois, because I love you and I love this family.
But he instantly falls asleep in the car instead of bringing it inside. This proves to be the final straw for Lois. After 19 seasons of pent-up holiday rage, she snaps and announces she is abandoning them to go to Cabo with her cousin, so they have to fend for themselves.
Every year, my cousin asks me to come to Cabo for Christmas. Well, this year, I'm going. You're all gonna see how hard it is to make Christmas happen around here without me.
But here is where her completely sus behavior kicks in. Lois doesn't actually go to Mexico. Instead, she rents a snowy motel room right across the street, giving her a perfectly clear view of the Griffin house, so she can sit back and happily watch her family fall apart without her.
Watching the family fall apart without me is better than Cabo. Look at them.
But the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen to Lois's ego occurs. The family actually thrives. Fueled by blind, middle-aged rage, Peter manages to perfectly decorate the house all by himself.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
The Griffins end up having a fantastic time together, doing things like setting a Christmas movie on fire, hanging up stockings, and even having a dinner of nicely roasted Meg. They do so well that they even make the local news headlines, which makes Lois insanely jealous as she watches from afar.
Now they're standing hand in hand. It's like they've never been happy.
Unable to accept that they are happy without her, Lois channels her inner Grinch and decides she has to stop Christmas.
There's only one thing to do. I must put an end to this whole thing. I must stop Christmas.
She sneaks into the house in the middle of the night, does a few housewife chores like cleaning the dirty dishes and restocking the fridge with groceries, and then maliciously steals all the decorations, the tree, and every single present.
Santa Claus? Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
The next morning, the family wakes up to a barren house and believes they've been robbed.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Hey, what happened?
Peter, I think we've been robbed.
Lois brilliantly times her fake return from Cabo, pretending to be absolutely shocked at the burglary she literally committed just hours prior. She tries to guilt-trip the family.
I go away for one Christmas and everything goes down the drain. All of you must feel so terrible.
Asking if they feel bad, but they surprise her by revealing they are actually happy. It turns out the robbers didn't steal Lois's gift, which the family presents to her, along with a heartfelt note showing their appreciation.
Oh God, I'm gonna cry.
The gift is an incredibly ugly, misshapen clay bowl that the entire family made together in a pottery class. Seeing this genuine act of love, Lois's heart literally grows 3 sizes, which almost takes her out permanently,
Never seen anything like it. Very dangerous. She's lucky to be alive.
and she realizes she loves her family, completely ignoring the fact that she just robbed them blind and manipulated their emotions without ever apologizing. Next up, we have one of the most uncomfortable and weirdly sus storylines the show has ever done in Season 15, Episode 20, House Full of Peters. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Lois met a younger, more attentive version of her husband? Well, spoiler alert, things get incredibly spicy and way too close for comfort. The whole mess actually starts during an innocent ladies' night, where Lois, Bonnie, and Donna decide to have some fun by prank calling their husbands.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's crank call them.
Lois decides to go a little extreme with her prank on Peter, putting on a voice and claiming to be his secret long-lost daughter.
No, my name is Rebecca. You've never met me before and probably don't even know I exist, but you're my father.
But instead of laughing it off, Peter completely freaks out and yells at her to never call the house again. Suspicious of his terrified reaction, Lois decides to trail Peter the next day and follows him all the way to a local DNA donation bank. When she confronts him, Peter nervously admits that right before they got married, he made a few population paste donations for some extra cash,
Okay, but hang on, you were a sperm donor?
but had completely forgotten about it until her prank call. Lois, trying to do the right thing, insists that if Peter has any kids out there, they deserve a chance to meet him.
Well, I'm sorry I tricked you, but if you do have a child out there, isn't it only fair to let him or her meet you?
Well, be careful what you wish for, because shortly after, a girl named Katie shows up at the door,
Hi, is Peter Griffin here?
Oh my God.
followed by an absolute army of mini Peters of all different shapes, sizes, and backgrounds. During a big family cookout to welcome the new kids, Lois bumps into one of Peter's sons named Larry. Larry is essentially a spitting image of a young Peter, looking exactly like the man Lois originally fell in love with.
You're the first person who looks anything like my husband who's offered to help in any way.
Oh, you must be Peter's wife, Lois. I'm Larry.
When Larry politely helps Lois avoid dipping her chest into some marinara sauce, Lois finds herself feeling some very unexpected and inappropriate emotions. This leads to the two of them going out for a cozy lunch and a trip to the park for some ice cream. When Lois makes a mess, Larry offers to help clean her off, and before you know it, the two are locking lips in a wildly uncomfortable kiss.
Wow, Larry, that was unexpected.
Racked with guilt, Lois eventually confesses to Brian about the kiss, admitting she just let it happen. But she definitely doesn't stop there. Later on, Lois and Larry are hanging out alone on the couch, and he starts giving her a back massage.
Look, calm down. We're just friends. He's just giving me a friendly massage.
A friendly massage?
Things escalate fast, and Larry literally tries to take her top off using his teeth. Peter walks in right at that exact moment to catch them, and Larry boldly confesses that he is in love with Lois. This prompts a massive brawl between Peter and his lookalike son, but since Larry is much younger and fitter, he actually starts winning the fight. Not wanting to see her husband get beaten up, Lois steps in and completely knocks Larry out cold by smashing a potted plant over his head.
I'm sorry if I hurt you, Peter. I guess Larry just reminded me of a younger version of you and...
In the end, Lois apologizes for her unfaithful actions, but of course, she shifts the blame by saying she only did it because Peter neglects her.
Got a pretty good one going right now, Peter.
You always do, Lois. I love you.
Alright, let's wrap this up with our final and possibly most unhinged entry. Season 20, Episode 18. Imagine a mother and daughter fighting so fiercely over a random guy that it literally ends in a tragic fatal accident. In this storyline, Lois proves that she has absolutely zero boundaries when it comes to getting a little attention, even if it means ruthlessly battling her own teenager. The chaos kicks off after a giant hole gets put into the wall of Stewie's bedroom, prompting Lois to hire a professional. Enter Jamie, a guy who looks like he was perfectly crafted from a binge-watching session of HGTV.
So you just fill the hole with your c***.
Yes, it's very thick, and it stays hard forever.
Jamie immediately starts tossing around wild double entendres, telling Lois that he's going to fill her hole with his c***. And yes, he literally spells out C-A-U-L-K.
Well, it's still a bit moist, but should dry up soon.
Don't count on it.
What's that?
Nothing.
Just to keep our videos safely monetized, Lois is instantly smitten, officially initiating what she calls Operation Thirsty Housewife. With Peter conveniently out of town on a road trip to Canada, Lois decides that a little light infidelity is just the treat she deserves. She gets herself all dolled up, throwing on a super short skirt to show off her legs.
That is making my legs look long and sexy.
But Meg isn't about to let her mom have all the fun. Meg decides to step into the ring, trying to win Jamie over by dressing up as the sexiest man alive, Uncle Sam.
What the h*** are you doing?
Showing Jamie I have the sexiest and longest legs in this house.
Oh, this is Mama's show, Meg.
This kicks off an absolutely ruthless mother-daughter sabotage battle. Lois warns Meg to back off, but Meg refuses,
Meg, I'm warning you, if you don't back off, I will end you.
pointing out that Lois already has a husband and Jamie belongs to her. The two trade brutal insults, with Lois pretending to do a school report just to ask Meg who was president when she was born,
Clinton. Dwight D. Clinton.
and someone even bringing in a sheep shearer to shave Meg's back in front of him. But their thirsty, petty sabotages go way too far, leading to Jamie taking a massive, painful tumble. In classic television fashion, Jamie miraculously stands up in the middle of the street and shouts, "I'm okay. Oh, thank God."
I'm okay!
Oh, thank God.
Of course, you can never tempt the universe like that, because the second the words leave his mouth, a speeding vehicle materializes out of nowhere and completely flattens him.
We miss you, Jamie. Our car hearts are broken.
Ending his life. Lois and Meg's desperation literally cost an innocent handyman his life. But don't shed a tear just yet, because almost immediately after, there is another knock at the door. It turns out to be Jamie's identical twin brother. When Lois asks if he's also a handyman, he casually replies that no, he is an inner thigh masseuse who specializes in moms in their 40s. Naturally, the tragedy is completely forgotten, and Lois is right back to swooning over the new brother.